myself Savita Tapagai. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Can you please tell us about yourself?
Well, my name is Niran Oli. I am from Pitamur, Japan, Nepal, and currently I am in here in Sydney, Australia since 2018 of February.
Okay. Are you in a student visa?
Yes, I am in a student visa.
Okay. Today we are going to do an interview on the topic of changes to career prospect of international students who are starting business in Australia due to global pandemic. How those students adjusted their behavior to align with the new world. So in this interview, we will have 12 different questions related to the international students, how they impacted due to the global pandemic, and how they cope with the situation. And the interview will take about more than an hour. So, are you ready for the interview?
Yes, definitely. The interview, like you are going to ask me questions like related to the pandemic that the students facing currently.
Yes, it is similar to that. Yes, the students who especially come here to study business, especially business, how because global pandemic especially affect on the student who are studying business subject. So we are researching on those students, how they cope with the situation, how they suffered, and similar like that. So I'm going to start the interview. So shall I start the interview?
Yes, sure.
Okay. And do you do any part-time or casual work currently?
I'm in student visa, so currently I'm working as a part-time.
Okay. If you are working as a part-time, where do you work?
I'm working in an healthcare facility in Miranda.
And what do you do?
Like I'm as a catering assistant and I work in the kitchen.
And is that the occupation related to your current area of study?
Well, it's not quite related to the course of study, but I'm studying a master's in business studies, and then I'm working in the kitchen. But however, like it's quite similar to a business. I'm working as a kitchen staff as a cook, and then I'm studying business studies. So in future, like if I want to develop my career in business field, so I can have more practical knowledge in the kitchens and studying in the business as well. And my background is bachelor in hospitality management, and then I'll be more than happy to open my own business in near futures once I get more experience from the course of my study and as well as through my workplace. And then I want to see myself uh, to be a successful entrepreneur in my home country.
Oh, that's pretty nice. So, another question. Is there any impact of global pandemic on your current job occupation?
Well, definitely yes, I would say because the place where I work is an aged care facility, and the company is two different companies in the same building. Like the place where I work is a HQ kitchen, but it's a different company. The facility we provide to the aged care is aged care, like the older residents who lives in the aged care facilities. We need to serve them, and I already like told you that I'm working as a catering assistant. So our job is responsible to make prepare the food for the older residents, whoever lives in the aged care. And the pandemic, like we already know that the people are more risk at the for the COVID cases, like they get more, they are more at risk in getting a COVID. Uh, because the people who are of older age, more than 50 years or 60 years, they are of more risk, as World Health Organizations have already told. And like I used to work before pandemic, I used to work as a houseman, and because of this pandemic, like I already lose the job because the international borders and international travels were shut down, and people stopped traveling, and all the tourism sectors, or even the people who travel for a business purpose, they used to live in our hotel. And then we had a good business at the time, but due to the pandemic, everything was shut down, and then people lose their job. Even I used to work as a houseman in the Meriton apartment, and then I lose my jobs. But currently I'm working in a aged care facilities, which are at more priority, and then I'm working in the kitchens, but I'm just working as a part-time. But I'm more than happy that I still have a job.
Okay. So that's mean your current job, you are working as a safe. Is how long is you are working as a safe then?
It's not that much long, but I have to wait, and I have to like I've been waiting like almost 2 or 3 months after I lose my job from the hotel apartment where I used to work before. Once the COVID started, once I lose the job, I try to apply in the aged care facilities, the jobs where like government have announced at high priority, or the more essential things like retail sectors or the hospitality sectors. And then finally I got the jobs in the kitchens. It's not been so long that I have been working like since last October. Yeah.
Okay. Are you happy with your current job?
Well, pretty much happy with the jobs, although I am just working as a part-time, but people are not getting jobs at the moment. Casual staffs already lose their jobs, but I still am working as a part-time, and then I am happy with that.
Okay. And is there any incentive by Australian government to minimize the impact of global pandemic on the job?
Well, the government of Australia have given more opportunities and then more facilities to the permanent residents rather than the students, but also they have looked for some of the like city. They have looked more focus on the permanent residents and citizens, as they get more incentives and bonus from the company. Even they don't work, they get paid like something around, I heard it's something around 1500, something like that. But these international students also, they get superannuations from the government, which I already withdraw. Yes, that's the support from the Australian government to the international student so far.
That also may be a big help for you that time, maybe, isn't it? Because in Australia, superannuation we can't withdraw before we until we are in here. So in the middle of the time when you are actually suffering from the financial crisis, that time you get the support from the government. Isn't it a great?
Well, I said it's quite surprising. Like government have announced the to all the members, or to all the employees who have been working in the tax and are paying tax, and then who are doing a tax jobs, they can withdraw the superannuation before they retire. And yes, it's quite surprising, and people are pretty much happy with that as well, because they started having a financial crisis. And even I used to pay, in that time I have to pay my university fees, and then I was facing a problem that I lose my job as well, which I get support from the superannuation that I withdraw from it.
Oh wow, nice. And you may hear that the recent Australian government made law that any part-time casual employee consistently work last 12 months treated as permanent by employer. Do you think such new rules bring significant to casual employees?
Well, yes, I have heard that the Australian government have made rules like the part-time casual employees constantly who have worked more than a year or 12 months are treated as a permanent by employee. Yes, it's it's quite significant. Casual employees are started losing their jobs in most of the places because different business fields or different retail sectors, different sectors are in hotels and restaurants. People start terminating the employees, casual employees, because of the business shut down by the government, and also the interstate travels were banned, and then there were no any goods and services facilities to the employees and to the customers actually, and then people don't need more staffs on those fields. So it was more benefits to those casual staffs who were working more than a year, and then government have announced rules to the different business sectors that the casual staff must treated permanently by the employer, those who have worked more than a year. Furthermore, it is more beneficial for the casual staffs, like if they get permanent shift, and then they will have more facilities by the employer, like they will have more incentives, bonus by the company, and they will have a fixed jobs. They don't have to feel like aware of that they might lose a job because they are already appointed as a permanent shift. So yes, it's more beneficial and significant to the casual staffs who have been working more than a year.
Now we are moving on the question number 4, which is like what were the pre-pandemic business career aspiration for most of the international students starting in Australia?
Where the students before the pandemic, they have different opportunities in different sectors of business, like they have more opportunities in different fields of business, like they can go anywhere, like in banking sectors or in accounting field or in retail sectors or different markets to develop their career before the pandemic. And most of the international students, they they were in a good stand, like they can have more choices of their career opportunities, and they were happy in pursuing the business studies before the pandemic. And yes, they have different sectors in different fields in related to their studies.
Okay, and why did they choose those occupation?
Well, it's quite related to their course of studies. Like students who are studying a business, they can go to the different fields of business. And here in Australia, government have made rules that people students who are students, they once they finish their studies, they must work in a related field, that whatever the course they have studied. Like a business students, if they are working in the banking sectors or in the accounting field or any businesses or market, so they have a good chance to make their skill assessment. Like here the government needs an skill assessment once you complete the course of study to live here in Australia. If you are like want to develop a career in Australia and want to get a permanent residence. So to eligible to have a permanent residence, the students must have the skill assessment as well. So for that reasons, they must be working in their related field, like the occupations they choose in a banking sector, whether they are in accounting sectors.
Okay. What were the prime benefits of those occupations?
The most important thing is like the students have more opportunities, like to get their career developments in the real field, like they studies in business studies, and then they can develop their career in the related fields, and they are much more happier to work in the same field because they have already a theoretical knowledge. Now they are going to develop their course of study in a practical base. In they will face the real practical based knowledge once they get a job, and then they can develop their careers in the real field.
Okay. Do you think most of the international students used to choose only few occupation?
Yes, before the international students, they used to choose only few occupations in a related field because they, as back to their country, they don't have much job opportunities, and also a course of studies they want to study. But here, coming back in Australia, they have different course of studies. Either they can choose go to business or in nursing or in IT, and then they have more job opportunities as well. So before, like they used to choose only few occupations because they don't get a related jobs. But here, coming back in Australia, they have more opportunities to different fields. So international students, they choose only like they have more options, so they choose whatever they have studied, they choose to go to the related field.
Which universities and subject do you currently study at?
Well, I'm presently studying Masters in Business Studies from Charles Sturt University.
Okay. And do you think that international student in other areas than the business faculty, such as nursing, pharmacy, and IT, are less affected by the global pandemic? If yes, how and why?
Definitely, the international students in all the sectors like business or accounting or marketing facility have been more affected than the students who are studying in the nursery or pharmacy or IT department, because due to the pandemic everything have been shut down, and moreover the business, restaurants, hotels have been shut down by the government, and also the internationals and interstate travels were banned, and people don't get travel facilities. And also the people who work in a business field, they need to travel internationally or interstates. They don't get a chance to work in that field, and students who are working in a nursing or a pharmacy, they are at government already announced they are at more essential things, so they get more opportunities to work in those related fields. And also government have given opportunity to the students who have working limits of 20 hours. They can work more than 20 hours if they are working in the nursing field or in pharmacy or any hospital sectors, because they are at more essentials and priority. And also government have made different changes to the students that they who are working like in a tax and also in a like retail sectors. They can work more than a working limits if they are working as a part-time permanent. So yeah, the students who are working in those essential sectors have affected less rather than the students who are in different other facilities like business and accounting.
Do you think that business sector is non-essential than the medical sector or the retail store, whatever? Because as you have already said that government have announced that medical sector and the retail store are the essential sector, and that needs to be open, and they never shut down, and they run their business. They run their business even though the COVID. Okay, and then after, do you think is it fair enough for the business field people?
Well, it's not about like this is like every country, not only the country, the whole entire world is facing the pandemic. Due to this pandemic cases, people are well aware about more about their health, actually not about their business or their future like employment opportunities or anything, because the people thinking more about their health, and also the government are paying more attention to the people's health rather than going to the country's economy or business. Everyone is facing the problem with this one, and country's economy is also getting down. So to get better in future, government have make the strict rules on taking care of people health, so that essential things like nursing and hospital sectors or retail sectors, which are needs of people in everyday's life, that people's have to eat, or and they need like retail shops for their daily consumings. And also the people are who suffer from COVID or who are like who are unwell or unfit, not only a COVID, but who are suffering from different diseases or who needs a care, they definitely needs a treatment. So the hospital and nursing sectors are at high priority, that they shouldn't be shut down. But the business sectors like for an example like an accounting sectors or a banking sectors as well, they can do it from home like online. But to do a medical treatment, you can't do it online. Like you need, if a person have an emergency case, then you just stay at home and doing an online research and book an appointment, but you don't go to the hospital. Then that's doesn't make any sense. Like they don't get a treatment at a proper time. So but if you are running a business like a restaurants or hotels, but and you can do it online. Like you can, restaurants can be open with certain limits. Like if you follow the government rules, like they have make a rules like a distance of 1.5 meters or capacity to stay in a particular dining restaurants, like sometimes 30, sometimes 10, or sometimes 15. Even when you are doing outdoor catering business or something like that, the government have make a certain rules for those one. They haven't like total shut down their business, but they have certain limits to how they can run the business. So if you follow the government rules, then they also can run their business, but not as like nursing homes and retail sectors, which are at high priority. Yeah, that's the government rules, and everyone should follow that one.
Yeah, more and some of the IT or some of the office, they have run from the work. They have started work from
Yes,
home.
yes,
something like
definitely. Even the students, like even the college and schools, they are also a business. They are also running a business, even though they are students don't get an opportunity to study face to face, but they are still getting chance to learn from home, like through online. Still the business is going on for the college and schools. So it's not like totally shut down, but however, like students who travel internationals and who were at holidays, they didn't get chance to come back because it's totally banned. So because of that, one might be affected somehow to the business as well. Like the students who 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 were good at work, like who have a permanent, some of them have a permanent part-time jobs, and who were good at work as well. So people might lose the experienced, and then they have to employ the unexperienced ones, and because of that one, they might have slightly affected in the business as well.
That means they stuck in their home country,
Yes.
or in a holidays.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And also, I think it's a pretty good decision that government have made of giving more priority to the nursing or the medical facility, as our health is the first priority. Health always come first. So yeah, we need to appreciate about that.
Yes.
And okay, let's move to the question number 7, which is due to the global pandemic and less demand in some of the goods and services areas, employment opportunities some gone down in those areas. Significant number of international students are unsure about their potential career after the graduation. Because of this global pandemic, have you ever thought about changing your career aspirations? If yes, which occupation would be suitable for yourself?
Well, due to the global pandemic and going of a high COVID cases, the interstate and the international travel were totally banned, and because of that, the trade market and also the different sectors and areas where the people work at high risk areas, where the government have announced to shut down their businesses, like people working in the hotels and restaurants, those who are working in the catering field, functions, they lose their jobs totally because there were less demands of goods and services because people so even though when I used to work in the hotel, I lose my jobs because the business people who used to come from different states and internationally, they stop coming to the hotel, and unfortunately I have to let my job as business was getting down and there was no any guests at the hotel. So people who used to work in different sectors, hotels and restaurants and high risk areas, they lose their jobs as there were less demands of goods and services. So in the meantime, like I think to change my career due to the pandemic, and I thought that about changing my career will be a good options for me in future to be stable and work in some other fields which are just high priority or essential things.
And if you ever thought of changing your career aspiration, which career you have thinking of switching?
Well, I was not sure, pretty much sure to change which course I will go through, but I was hoping to go in nursing sector because the government already have announced that it is the essential sectors that needs to be run, even it's a pandemic and going gradually the COVID cases. But no, on that I feel like I was lucky that I applied from home and different businesses sectors, also in some nursing sectors, because I had done the certificate 4 courses before the pandemic, which helped me to get jobs in the aged care facilities, and I'm lucky enough to get a job in kitchen. And so but I didn't change or I didn't switch my course of study business to any other sectors, but luckily I get the jobs.
Okay, but you thinking of choosing because of losing your first job, yeah?
Yeah. Yes. But even not only me, because everyone, not only the students, everyone was more at concerned about their career, more concerned about their career, more concerned about their health, and they were totally scared because in many countries, people have died because of COVID. It was going so, the cases were going so, increasing so fast that people have fear that they might get affected. Day by day, everyone was dying, and even they were losing a job. So everyone is in fear, and they might lose their career, they might lose their job. So because of that was also I was in so I was thinking to change my career, but it was like my good opportunities to get a good job like I get in the HQFL.
If you haven't switched your career, then how can you how can the effects of global pandemic in your area of future occupation be minimized?
Well, like if I haven't got the job as well, because lucky enough that I already got the jobs in different sectors, like which is really essential. But if I haven't got the job, but I could have gone through different other fields, that the businesses which can run from the home, that I was trying to apply the jobs which we can do at home, because it's like in this modern world, like we can even work from at home, like, and even my friends and families, they who work in the agencies and different banking sectors, they are working through home. So I was planning, like, even I am an international student, but I have a full working like government have set a rules of working 20 hours for the students, so I can work a part-time job from home. So I was trying to apply the jobs which I can get from home. So doing the I was just doing online researches that if I can fit in the jobs.
Okay. What are the international students' area of study?
Well, due to the pandemic, the most of the international students currently they are planning to go to the essential sectors, as I have already mentioned, because due to the pandemic they don't have much job opportunities in the facilities like in business sectors or in marketing or in accounting field, rather than the nursing or hospital sector, because the nursing and hospital sectors are more at essentials, and they have more opportunities in those fields. So students who are coming to study here, they have more job opportunities in those sectors. So yes, students have nursing field or hospital sectors or retail sectors have more job opportunities.
International student have got more opportunity in the medical field and the essential sectors, and for it sorry for those who have already enrolled in the business course, did they do you think they switch their course to different course, and do you think is it a right decision for them?
As I have already told you that it's because of this going COVID cases, people are fear of losing their jobs, losing their career. So students who were already enrolled in the business sectors, they plan to choose their career in different fields which are very essential, and develop their career opportunities. So yes, most of the students who were already enrolled in the courses, they change the course to different sectors like nursing, hospitality sectors, which are at more priority, and because they were at high demand, and then they need more staffs to work, because even the staffs who are doing a casual shifts, they get more shift on them, and people who are working just 20 hours a week, they were forcing to work more than 10 hours, so there was high demand of staffs as well. So yes, the students, I think the students have made a right decision to change the course at the moment, because the country was facing a problem, and it's not only about a career, but it's about the country and a whole nation, because every people uh, are facing a problem, and even the country's economies are getting down. So it's at the moment, like it's not about thinking only of about a career, but about the country as well.
And then, what do you think about the most attractive future career for the business graduates after the pandemic, and why?
Well, the future career for the international business graduate students after the pandemic will be like most of the international students, most of the business travelers, they are who have a good working experience. They already choose the different working fields to develop the career. So people who the students who have completed their course of study, they can apply to new business sectors who needs freshers to run their business, because they already have lose their experienced people, and then they don't have the proper human resource to run their business, and so the employer will hire the new uh, new employee, like they will offer new job opportunities to the freshers. So the students who didn't switch their study courses to any others during the study time and completed the business graduates, so have more opportunity to get the jobs in the business sectors, and they can develop their career in the field. Furthermore, like the international students who completed the business graduates, they can start as a fresher in a new company, and also they can get a good opportunities in a renowned company, because the most of the staffs who used to work in the different renowned property, they might went back to their country because of fear of the pandemic, and they might have lose the jobs. So the students who complete the study, they have more opportunities to work, even to work in the different developed or the renowned property, and to work and to develop their career.
Do you think that the international student need to adjust their expectation and intention to succeed due to the impact of a global pandemic? Why and how?
Well, the international students need to adjust their expectations and intentions to their career for a certain period of time, because of the impact of global pandemic. Like as I have already mentioned, not only a country but a whole world is facing a COVID cases, and it's going gradually. Like it's not stopping at the moment, and every even the World Health Organization and different hospitals, even and from different countries, and doctors and scientists, they are trying to get a vaccine for this disease, and but still they are working on it and haven't got any vaccine yet, and there is no any treatment for these cases, and it's really risks for the people's health. So so because of which even the international travels are banned, so that because it's a transmissible disease, and it can transfer from one person to another easily. So it's really at high risk that the people can get transmitted easily. So the impact of because of this impact of global pandemic in students, they must be patient for the expectations and intentions to succeed in their career in the related field. And even like they are studying like business studies, and they are thinking to work in some related sectors, but if because of pandemic everything has been shut down, the business has been shut down, but they must have patience and think more about their health at the moment. So the international students, even of pandemic, they didn't lose their hope. They became more patient because of the health and the country's economic, and they start searching the jobs from home and in different sectors, rather than being frustrated or losing their jobs. They try to find out the more job opportunities in the essential sectors like nursing or hospital sectors. They try to do the skill assessment courses, or they do different certificate courses, or in which help them to find new jobs in more essential facilities.
So, as an international student, will you adjusting with your expectation and intention?
Well, being an international student is already we have to focus more on about our career, and as I'm being an international student, even I'm not thinking too much about my career at the moment, because everyone is having a problem with these COVID cases, and the business were getting down. So even I try to adjust my expectations and intentions, because I didn't think too much to develop my career in the business sectors, even though I am doing business studies. So I plan to do some certificate courses during the pandemic, which I done through some institutions doing online research, and then I found jobs in aged care facilities, which was really essential at the moment, and I'm working on it, and so I'm happy for that. So I think every student, international students, should adjust their intentions and expectations, and this should be adjusted by all the international students, because yes, I've already mentioned that it's a time to think about the country and how the whole world, and people are dying day by day because of the pandemic. So they must think about the situations and move thinking about their career as well as the country.
Are you currently trying to improve your skills and expertise to be succeed?
Well, definitely yes. Like I'm currently studying in business studies, so at the meantime I'm just trying to develop my skills, doing some online research and doing some research on people as well regarding the business, and also, so to develop my skills, I'm just learning some skill learning classes from National Academy Town Hall, so which helps students to develop their skills and in the related field that they are studying.
Do you think the international students needs to get extra training and knowledge to compete after the global pandemics?
Yes, definitely the international students need to get extra training and knowledge to compete after the global pandemic.
If yes, what are the areas of skills and expertise that they need to focus on, and how?
Well, there are different areas that the international students need to focus on after the pandemic, as they already have learned how important the essential sectors are during the pandemic, like in nursing sector or in hospital sector. So after graduation, like after completing the course of study, the international students must do the professional year course, which is most important after the course in Australia, which will be as long as like almost 1 year, and then during the time they can learn more about the skills and certificate courses like the individual support or the certificate 3 or certificate 4, and they can do some nursing courses as well, and which will help to develop their career in some essential field, because of the global pandemic, these were already in essential factor. So international students, after completing their course, they must do some skills and expertise to be success and to compete after the courses, because there are a large number of demand in those sectors, and every international students are trying to get the jobs in those essential sectors. So they must do train skills courses and to develop the career, and which help them to work in
and also the essential training that will, it's not only after the COVID, this is in the essential sector. This is all time essential sector. So everyone should learn this kind of training, so that they can choose their future career, and they could lead their future in a successful path. Is that you mean?
yes.
Okay. What are your suggestions to the international students in relation to adjust their expectation and intention to succeed?
Well, being an international student, I already have faced and going through the COVID pandemic, and I have to face different situations, like I already lose the jobs, and when I was studying and doing the course, and then I have to look for the another jobs and have to sit home like 2-3 months without any job. So being an international student, it will be really hard to be a jobless, and also doing a course from home, like you don't get a chance to study from the institutions because it's totally closed, and then you didn't get interact with the teachers, and you have to stay back at home, and then you have to discuss everything online. So yeah, it was really hard for me. And then, so I would suggest the future international students like to be prepared very well, that it's like you have to be like a backpacker, like the situation could come anytime, like you can't focus your career and you can't think only one, like you are going to study this subject and I'm going to develop a career in this field. And so yes, it's good, like to develop a career in a related field, but you have to be more aware of the situation as well, that when it comes like a COVID cases or the situation which is very crucial and which is very harmful for the people, not only people but a whole country, that at that time you have to make up your mind to switch your courses to another course, or you just have to be patient and stable on your course, and then take patience and then look for other skill courses and certificates, and then to develop a career. So I would suggest the future international students to be more trained before coming to study here in Australia, or going internationally to develop their studies and their career. So have to be well trained and have to be well healthy mindset up, so they don't get frustrated in the situations when it comes to think to stop the career, or I mean to stop their study and go to the choose the another field, or go to just to go to develop their career. So situation comes anytime, so they must be prepared, and the patience, and the most importantly they must be well aware of the government rules and regulations they must follow. Like they, in this pandemic, even the international students or the people who work at the workplace, all of them are following the government rules which has been applied for this pandemic. So the international students they must be patient and follows the rules, and they must do a well research before coming to the country to study, because they like international students they never research more before coming back. They just go to the consultancies, and then they think they will just consult with the counselor, and then they just decide on what the counselor says, but they didn't go research on more about their studies and courses and their countries, uh, about their geographical situations, their weather, the countries' weathers, and their country's economics, the country's courses, what they are studying, and even the which subjects they have a future career they are choosing. Like coming here to study in business study, whether they have to do a professional year courses, they have the skill assess courses or not. Not only completing the studies will develop your future career. Once you have completed the course, you have to, if you get a job opportunity in the related field, then only you have more experience, and then you can take those experience back to your home country. But what if you don't get a related job? So please make sure that you get proper research on the subject that you are going to study, that if you can get the jobs in the related field or not, and go through your friends and families who are living there in Australia. Even you go to the online research, you can get everything in the prospectus or in the international research, in internet and resources, online resources, about your institutions, about your college, how good it is, and so, whether they give you a release letter or not, if any kind of situations comes and then you want to switch your courses to another course, or you want to transfer your college to another city or another place, whether they give a release letter to you or not. So everything, make sure is perfect, and you be patient most importantly, and then yes, and those are the things that the future international students should keep in mind to while coming back here in Australia.
You are suggesting them to choose the course, choose the course which one have got the future. Yeah, if the when they choose the course, they need to do the proper research, either that one have got a nice future, or that one is only the present oriented course or the future oriented course, and you are suggesting them to choose the future oriented course, isn't
Yes,
it?
definitely.
Okay. What factors do they need to consider during the adjustment, and why? Can you please elaborate more?
Well, being an international student, and due to this global pandemic, every international students have rights and every duties, responsibilities to follow the government rules and regulations. And being an international students, they must go through different research, and not only the study here in college or institutions, but also they should know about the rules and regulations, the countries they are going to live in, and so they must adjust the boundaries, their area of studies during their course, and they must be patient. I have already mentioned, and they like in this pandemic, government have made different rules to different sectors in the institutions, hospitals, college, everywhere. So in this pandemic, they already have shut down the college, and students are studying from home, and the college and institutions they are running the online courses. So yeah, international students they must be aware of the rules and regulations that government have implied, and so the international students must follow them and be patient. Yes. That's all.
Yeah, for this kind of situation to handle, everybody must need to be patient. This situation is it's come to everyone, not only to the international student. So this patience is the best solution or best method to handle the situation. So yeah, I agree with you that international student, if they have a patience,
Yes.
and if they don't rush with their decision, they could be successful, and that decision might be a right decision in future.
Yes, definitely. If the international students have patience on it and they don't get frustrated due to the pandemic and they work smoothly, they just follow their study courses, do the online research, follow the government rules. This might have a good impact on their future career and have a you know they have a good impact living in a society and familiar with the country government rules and regulations. So yes, patience is the most important thing, but as long not only a patience, but if the international students uh, have gone through some skills courses like if they do online research and have skill courses, and even this in this global pandemic, the government and the World Health Organizations have already opened COVID-19 training programs, which is very essential for the international students and the workers to complete those courses before enroll in any other jobs opportunities or doing any other courses, which is mostly important to international students to be enrolled in COVID-19 courses and have to complete that one before doing any jobs or before enrolling in any other institutions or work from home or any other. So patience and most importantly the good set of mind is most important to all these international students.
Okay. We are almost at the end of our today's interview, so this will be the last question for today's interview. So, what are the higher level of qualification that are supposed to meet the occupational expectation after the global pandemic for the international students?
Well, being an international student, even I am planning to develop my career in some related field. So here the demand of the international students in the workplace is like if you have being an international student, if you have completed the master degree or higher level of postgraduate or even the undergraduate programs, but you have to meet some of the skill assessments programs or the professional years and meet that meet the criteria to find a qualified job. So if you have completed the master degree, you must enroll in some of the professional year program, which will go like a 1 year of period, and during the time you also can develop some of the skill learning courses, some certificate programs, and once you have those qualifications or higher level of qualifications in master degree, you have higher chances of getting jobs in some related field. As if you are doing a business research studies or business studies, then you must do skill assessment courses in accounting or banking sectors or in business sectors, which you can get online or even you can get through the institutions or agencies through different academic as well. So not only getting diploma certificates or having a bachelor's degree in your hands can meet the occupational expectations, but also you need to have a higher level of studies, which is uh, which is almost like a master degree course or more than that, and following the skill assessment courses. So if once you have got those qualifications on your hand, then you uh,
have a better chance to get good jobs in those related field. So this might have meet the criteria after the global pandemic for the international students to get the jobs in those related field.
Okay, that's quite interesting that if you are graduated, that will be easier for you to get a higher, a nice occupation. And okay, do this qualification will improve their social and professional experience?
Well, definitely yes. Being an international students, they will have more opportunities to develop their career in professional manner. Like being an international student, I already have got a chance doing a master in business studies. I get more familiar with the social experience and professional experience as well. Like we get a chance to do a practical assessment, which we need to do a face to face with the people and in the environment, like and also the professional experience doing some placement courses in some of the institutions or some of the organizations. So that will definitely help to improve the social and professional experience in the related field. So yes, the qualification that we are currently doing, that the international students are currently doing, will improve their social and professional experience during the time of their placement and during the time of their course.
Okay, you mean is the student who are qualified that they have got a chance to experience social and professional skills during their career, during
Yes.
their course of study?
Yes, definitely.
And what are the factors that help in their future career planning and why?
So what have been discussed as been mentioned above as well, and being an international student, the factors that helps in future career, the international students must focus on their career development. Like if the courses that they are doing, which they are enrolled in, they must research on how the course will help to develop their career in future, whether they have the good opportunity to develop the career in the related courses. And also, like if they are well trained and during the course of study, if they have chosen the placement in a well-renowned organizations, or if they are familiar with the employer or the staffs, the place where they are doing a placement, then they will have more opportunities to learn. Like they have better future careers. Even if they have done a well placement, then they might get a chance to work in same related field after completing their courses. Because once you have good skills, and if the people know that you are well enough to work in their organization, they might recruit you in the near future as well. So international students must focuses on how you can develop your career in the related field, and how you go through your social and professional experience. Like if you have given, like in the international, being international, even I, when I was studying doing courses, I used to get different assessment, like social experience, professional experience, face-to-face communications with different people. So during the time, if you learn more about the your study, your how your course will help you to develop your career. Like if you are doing a business and you want to do some research on marketing, or you want to develop your career and you want to be a future entrepreneur, you have to research what's the demand of the people in the near future, or so what's on a high priority. So you need to know everything, and so those factors will help in the future's career of planning. That if you do a well research program, and also do a well skill courses during the time of study.
just a quick question. How do you achieve such qualification in your one case?
Well, this is my last semester that I am doing, and before the pandemic, I wasn't aware of those things that what will happen in coming near future, because I was only focusing on my career in the related field that I was studying. But once I was in the last semester, and then when the pandemic started, and then suddenly everything was changes. But I was well aware of the things, because I already have planned, thinking about my careers and opportunities, having chat with my senior, and who have already passed out from the institutions, because they were all well aware of the research and everything. And then I already make up my mind, like if the situation comes like that, then how can I handle the things and that might affect my career. So to achieve and to go through such situations, I already go through some research and some institution. I started learning some skill courses during the time of my study. I went to different institutions. I went to the agency. Even I went to the consultancy which I came from, to have some counseling from the counselor, that they so that I can get good support from them. So everything was fair enough, that everyone was helping each other. So even I was helped by my seniors and counselors, and then I plan to get more skill courses, and do more research, and started getting more qualifications and certifications in the different sectors, and which help not only in my course of study, but also in near future to get the good jobs, and not only in the related field as well, because I did some certificate courses which help in the nursing sectors as well, which I am currently doing a part-time job in the nursing sectors as a catering assistant. And also I am planning to get some jobs after completing the course of my study, and I will look for, yeah, and that will definitely will help in my future career, not only in the like business related course of studies, but also I might have more opportunity doing some skill learning courses, and the course of different certificates will help in different work as well. So after completing the course, I am planning to get some good jobs, as this is not only my part-time job, but I am planning to go to a professional year program. And also once I have no working rights limits, then I'll be a full-timer. Then I will definitely going to apply to some. I'm not planning to apply like it's to a renowned property, but at least a good company, so that I can have a good experience, and then I will develop my career in near future as well.
Lovely. You are smart enough that you have already chosen. You have already made your way toward your success, and I wish you a very good luck for your future career. And it was a nice meeting with you actually, and I feel I don't. Is we all know that every international student are facing this kind of problem these days. Even though you gave us a time and you share your feelings about these things, so which I really appreciate about it. And also this thing might be erased if you are dedicated towards your career, and if you are ready to face answer the problem.
Yes, definitely. It was really nice talking with you too, and the questions that I had got till so far was quite interesting. And then even it reminds me of my experience, how I was facing the situation in the pandemic, and how I was going through. And then yes, it's really I have a good experience, and sharing with you as well. And so the international students, as already told, that everyone must be patient and support not only things about the career but also support your country and also the whole world, and also the whole world. And because the country's economy is getting down, and so we need to support and keep in touch with everyone, because some of them also like haven't not only the thinking about the career, because these COVID cases is really critical, and you must think about it, and you must be you know being human personality, like you need to help each other in these situations. Like uh, in some underdeveloped countries, they don't people don't have the jobs, and if they lose their job, they are hard to get foodings at the
Okay.
time. So even being international students, so I can see some of the international students are helping, joining in helping hands, and then doing online, doing it online as well. So think about it and go with the patience. Don't frustrate. Is the best way that we can keep in touch. Yes, thank you so much.
Uh, Thank you so much.